Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Hey, who are you here with?
Myself?
What for?
Because I'm running for Congress.
Let's start off with this little segment on here. You're familiar with Tim Pool, Timcast IRL. It's a good show on there. He has some really good guests. This past week, he had on the one of the heads of Getter, Jason Miller, which Tim really grilled on the stage. That was I have to applaud to that. You know, you got to remember, whether you like Tim Pool or you don't like Tim Pool, he asks the questions to the people he needs to ask. You know, the whole Jack Murphy situation, that's another issue in itself. But don't criticize him for that. Look at what he's done. He's gone up against Jack Dorsey. He's gone up against Jason Miller. He's gone up against a lot of people out there. He's hit those hard questions that need to be asked. You know, there are people criticizing him left and right. But this past week, you could say that Tim Pool and his crew are under attack. And I'm talking waged war attack. About well over a week ago, we reported Tim being swatted, basically, which had a massive police response. Well, guess what, folks? He's gotten swatted again, a second time. And not only he's been attacked cyberly once, he's been hit twice, just in the past week and a half. It was a DDoS attack. And the way they know that this happened is that, from what Tim explains, is that basically they have 4 backups. They have the main system and the 4 backups. Everything went down in one shot. And this happened, Mike Rowe was on. Mike Rowe, an excellent guy Dirty Jobs, Dirty Works, with that series that he has, which is, if you're thinking college, and I'll say this again, trade school is your best route. Go watch his shows. Go watch where people use their hands and work for a living, and they make money. You have to understand one thing. You're going to go out and say you want a singing career, or you want a TikTok career, or YouTube career. Yes, it's a lot of work. But see, here's the difference. You got to work hard to get paid as far as the length of time. You're not something that you get a paycheck. You know, you do YouTube, you do TikTok, you know, you get monetization. You would have to be monetized first. That takes time. I know that, I said before, Rumble, I got monetized very quickly, but I still haven't really earned money. It takes time to develop a subscribership and all that. If you're out there at a trade school and you say you become an auto mechanic, a welder, you're getting a paycheck in your hand as soon as you finish your first week. You got a paycheck coming to you. That money is coming to you guaranteed. If you do your job right, you learned your trade correctly, and do the work that you're supposed to do, you'll realize that you'll make a lot of money. You got to remember, truckers make a lot of money. Garbage men make a lot of money. Guys who clean out the sewer drains. Guys who go up on poles fixing the lights and the electricity. All those people, they make money. Auto mechanics. House builders. People who are in construction that do on there. Plumbing. There are many jobs out there that are available to you. Some states, they're desperate for air conditioning and refrigeration workers. They need it, and truckers. But, air conditioning, refrigeration, that is a big thing as well. I mean, when I used to live in Florida, that was a lucrative job to get. When I used to, when I was between jobs and I needed to get a secondary job, everything I looked on there was air conditioning, refrigeration, air conditioning, refrigeration. There was a lot of that going on. But getting to the point is when you have someone who works hard, like Tim Pool, to produce what he does, and has guests, like Mike on there, Mike Rowe, and someone tries to tamper with that show, which is educating people out there. Now, the first SWAT, we know there was Marjorie Taylor Greene was on the show. 24 hours later, then the event happened. Most people says, well, it's probably the Jack Murphy thing. No, it's more, if you look to the perspective of when the show was re-uploaded into the system, which was about late 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast on there. By the time people kick in, I put my shows up. The last show I put up is 8 p.m. or if it was a Saturday pre-flight, 10 p.m. Overnight by about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I start picking up a lot of views at that point. Same thing with Tim Pool. So Tim Pool's views start kicking in like early in the morning. When that happens, then you get those who are watching Tim Pool and they see that he's had Marjorie Taylor Greene. And that day, which had to be January 6th, she had a lot of people sending her death threats. Now, whether you agree with this woman or not, take a moment, watch the show, listen to what she has to say. You'd be surprised on how she presents herself. I was shocked. I thought she was a nut job. When I saw the show, kind of changed my mind. Would I vote for her? She's not in my district, but hey, listen, that would, if I was, that would be a strong contention to, consider voting for her, because her presentation and how she presented herself was very well done. Not to the way the media has presented her to the public. When people say, oh, this is a crazy nut, do you believe that every time? No, don't take everything as a grain of salt. Don't believe everything the media tells you. Remember, CNN, after Trump got out of office, CNN has lost 90% of its viewership. 90, folks, 90% of their viewership gone. Think about that for a minute. I have said in the past, a lot of the networks have lost a lot of viewers. They're on their way out. For example, the kid networks, Cartoon Network, Boomerang, Nickelodeon, Disney, those all are in the 100 to 200,000 views counts there. What does that tell you? They're on their way out. It's the same thing with the CW network. CW network, their average is about 300 to 500,000 views. That's not good for a network. When ABC, CBS, NBC can pull up 5 million to about 10 million viewers on a given night and that's a bad average for them. What does that tell you in the lower category level? What does that tell you? How bad are those networks going? So when you have a politician on and she's in a discussion on there, if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. Turn the channel, go elsewhere. Don't sit there that you start to make plans to attack the channel that basically has her on. That is incorrect. And then later on, hit her with DDoS. Then you had the second swatting, and that was with James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, and Andy No. And I think it was one other person that was in there that also works in the same paper with Andy No. And you get a second attack on there. And then 2 DDoS attacks. And then here's the one that gets you. Here's the one that just basically tells you, beef up your security. A gentleman walks into the complex, gets in the foyer, which is about to, I think and we're going to pop the video in for a minute here. Gets into the foyer, gets into the house, which there are signs on the road. No trespassing, warning, there are warnings on the road that tells you that you will be arrested if you trespass on this property, if you do not have an appointment, if you're not invited into this area. You have to remember that where he's at in Maryland, you have to come down the road, and you're coming through several properties. So you're violating also several other people's properties who probably have similar no trespass warrants. They're out in the middle of nowhere. And you got to pass through several no trespassing signs. That should tell you, don't come down this road. You're asking for trouble. And from what I understand, because of the swatting incidents and stuff like that, this particular gentleman has been arrested. Supposedly, he has an IMDb, supposedly. He has been, I think, in a movie or two. Supposedly, he was running for Congress. His website hasn't been updated in a long time. But, well, let me just show you. Here's the little segment off of Castle, Tim Pool's vlog, behind the scenes on his show.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Hey, who are you here with?
Myself?
What for?
Because I'm running for Congress. I'm running for Congress in the 2nd District in West Virginia. Been trying to email you guys.
But you can't just walk into the house.
Well, I know I knocked. Obviously, I didn't just walk in.
Who let you in?
Well, I waved to this guy. He just said,
I thought you were with
I
Entourage.
should leave my name and number.
Yeah, it's pretty busy here right now.
Okay, can I just leave you guys my name and number?
Yeah, you like a card or something?
Sure, I don't have a card.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't mean to break your chair right there. I was just going to leave my name and number right here.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Okay, thanks so much, guys. And if you're going to put that on, go to craigx.com. That's my website for Congress. What was that?
You're from West Virginia?
No, I'm from California. I just
Oh,
moved to
okay.
West Virginia with the pandemic. I was on the show Weeds. Ever seen Weeds before?
Yeah.
I played the owner of the Medical Marijuana Club on the show. Yeah, I've been in 15 weed films. And
Yeah.
I'm just a working class guy. Though. I drove 7 hours. I've been emailing you guys, and he said, hey, we got to beat these establishment Republicans. And the only way to do it is to primary them. And if I can't get in the primaries, I have to be in by the 27th of this month. So I said, fuck it. I have my kids in the car. I drove 7 hours to be here. And I'm going to drive back.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
You're running
man.
in California?
No, I'm running in West Virginia, in your district, in Tim's district.
Yeah.
What's your name? Chris, that's my son's name. Would you mind if I just got a glass of water? I have incredible cotton mouth right now.
Let me get I got a bottle here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You guys have a good evening.
Yes, you could see this. You could see that this guy did not belong there. Snuck in with the rest of the entourage. This guy waited in the darkness for this people to go by. I can imagine, I don't know if he drove up with them. Maybe he left his car down the road a little bit. But this guy snuck onto this property. Now, some people would say, well, maybe he should put a gate around there. That's going to cost a lot to do that, number one. Number two, you're going to have to go through your neighbors, make sure you're not blocking their property as well. A main gate, yeah, maybe a main gate might do it. But Tim Pool will be moving his facilities to West Virginia. He will be keeping that particular place, but he's going to be moving the main core of his program to West Virginia, from what I understand, to a new place, which will be well secure. And from what I understand, he is beefing up security. He's increasing the security level at his compound, And I don't blame him. I do not blame him at all. I know he's interviewing security companies, and I would not doubt that. I mean, I've been looking at places to expand this show since, our financial woes and our situation. I'm not going to go into that. But we are looking into an expansion to create a complete studio facility, similar to what Tim Pool has. Like Nerdrotic is building right now, what Geeks and Gamers. But also, you have to tailor in security. These nut jobs out there that are causing these swatting. Okay, I'm going to put it in this perspective. Those of you who have considered to SWAT somebody, even had the thought in your mind to do this, you are putting people in danger. If you think that because you want them to die or something like that, guess what? You get to go to jail. They don't give you a hero's welcome. You go directly to jail. Ask the guy who got a gentleman killed in the last, I think it was about a year or two ago. And that guy who swatted got 20 years. Do you understand 20 years? And he's a young fella. 20 years out of your young life, you're going to be well into your adulthood. And you know what the pain is when you get out of jail? Trying to get a job, trying to get a home or anything of that nature, you have people looking at you carefully for the rest of your life. Understand that. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because of your beliefs? Let me tell you something. This is the U.S. of A. Okay, remember that. There is a constitution. There is a line that says freedom of speech. When someone says, they're promoting hate speech, go back and look into the late 60s. There are several Supreme Court decisions. See, the thing about it is, this is all propagated by the mainstream media. And, of course, social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook. They're going to say hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. There is no such thing as hate speech. When will people get it in their minds? Do you understand what you're saying? Do you understand that you cannot... Anything that someone says can deem it to be hate speech. You do not like Rocky Road ice cream. Oh, that's hate speech. You do not like a particular sports team. Oh, that's hate speech. You believe in this historical event. Oh, that's hate speech. And we can go through the medical things, the COVID and all that. That is not hate speech. That is stupid people in the world that is telling people that they do not agree with it and that you should believe only their facts.